If your clients are not buying from you, you don't have a client's problem, you have a you problem. If your offer is not good enough, you don't have an offers problem. It didn't exist until you made it, so you have a you problem. If things are not moving forward and you think this is the market's problem, this is your business problem, you made your business, you built it, so you have a you problem. Today is going to be a very straightforward video, and I'm going to challenge your mind. I'm going to shake the groundings of your personality. And I apologize in advance if somewhere you feel your intelligence offended. But at the same time, this is going to revolutionize completely the way you think. Because I know what you think. You want to become a millionaire, but you know becoming a millionaire means to create $1 million value in the market, and you know that. But I have a question. Do you think every second of your working time, do you think that way? Or do you still think about you? So you think about how can I make things better, because maybe I can, maybe I can't. So you keep thinking about how hard it is. You keep thinking about you. Can you do it or can't you do it? That's what we're busy thinking. But I will give you today 3 perspectives which are going to revolutionize the way you think. I share this stuff with my highest level of offer, which I do offer in consulting to my clients, and you have access to it today. It's going to be a little bit complicated, but not too complicated for you, because you are an expert, me included, at making things complicated. So we are used to it. I know you are used to it. That's why I'm confident you can go through it. All right, so you know the mice which is spinning on the wheel? For the mice, the reality is that wheel, and it can be running on it for as much energy the mice has got until today. So according to the volume and the size of your business, you might be in that situation where right now you have a problem. You have now a question which is burning in your mind. You lose your sleep over it, and you're doubting and you're stressed and you're thinking, how can I solve this problem? So whatever is that problem, think about the pain of that problem right now. What is that problem? Think about it. How it starts with, why can't I X, or why doesn't X works this way? I'm going to die if something happens, so on and so forth. Think about the problem you've got in your business. That's a you problem, because you have decided to be in the situation where you are right now. And of course, you have multiple factors around you. And probably you hear people sometimes sharing their problems, and they say, yeah, life is this way or that way, and probably don't really like it, because they know, boy, it's not your life, it's you, so you can do it. So if you are already building or growing your business, and somebody which wants to start a business, they might tell you they have 1,000 problems, and you, who has already built their business, or you're growing your business, you might say, bro, you don't have all these problems. It's much easier. Why? Because you've been through. Why? The game doesn't change. Wherever you are now, at whatever phase in this business, starting, building, or growing, you have a problem, and you see it probably within you or outside of you. There's a matter. Why? I call the first perspective the DY, the death wheel. So you can only keep spinning according to the resources which you have accumulated until now. But very soon, maybe in days, maybe in weeks, maybe in months, or according to the size of business, maybe in years, you'll be dead. And you know you have that problem. Now, you're thinking about the problem which I'm inviting you to think about. So think about it. This is your problem. Here is right here. It's a triangle. Let's make it more visible. Good. Here is you. But we both know that you also want to get something out of this problem. You have a desire behind this problem. So think about it this way. If I didn't have this problem, or I want to solve this problem because I want to get that, whatever that might be. Now look, if your amount of understanding, the amount of your thinking is like this, and you're looking up, probably this problem ain't big enough. So the way you see your problem, it is like this. And it covers you. You can only see until here, the surface of the problem. This is the problem. You see its surface, and it blinds you completely from seeing where you want to get. The problem is bigger than what you want to get after the problem hypothetically is solved. If this is you, then of course the problem is much bigger. Now think about this size of the problem. Now if your thinking, your way of seeing things is much bigger, then the problem doesn't cover anymore whatever you want to get. The feeling you have when you are in a problem or through this obstacle is proportioned to your personal truth. This is your personal truth. If you think there are not enough clients in your city, and you don't have information, statistics about it, but that's what you just think this way, every problem is bigger than your thinking, and it covers you seeing the desire behind the problem. So if I tell you that your problems are created by the amount of your understanding or by the amount of your personal truth, or according to the quality of your personal truth, you might not believe me. You might say, you're crazy. You have no idea what problem am I right now. But let me tell you a story. So if you have this feeling right now that I have no idea what I'm talking about and the problem you've got is so much bigger than your potential, let me tell you a story. So there was a girl and a Tsar, a very hard, bad Tsar. And the Tsar has decided that this girl is going to be his princess. So he wanted to marry her, but somehow he has changed his mind and he say, look, I'm not going to force you. She was very sad. I'm not going to force you, but look, we're going to throw the dice. And we're going to throw the dice in this way. We're going to go in the park and you're going to pick up two stones, one black and one is white. And you're going to put these two stones in a jar. And you're going to pull up one stone. If the stone is white, I'm giving you the freedom you choose for yourself. You're not forced to marry me. If you choose the black stone, you are my wife. I'm going to marry you and you're mine. This is fair. That's what they do. That's what they done. They went into the park. They looked for two stones. The Tsar looked for two stones, but the Tsar was very sneaky. So he picked up two black stones and has put them in the jar without letting her to see these two stones. Now the situation, let's pause a second the story and we'll see what the princess has done. This girl has done. The situation seems without any way positive outcome out of it. There are two black stones. The condition is if there's a black stone, if you pull up a black stone, you're mine. So 100% there is no positive outcome for her out of this situation. All right? Don't you think about your daughter, or maybe that's you, think about you, about that situation. You have a jar, you saw that the jar picked up 2 black stones. The situation is, it's a dead wheel. It's a dead end. I can't get out of this kind of situation. What this girl has done? She pulled up 1 stone and threw it as far away possible. She said, we don't know the color of the stone I've thrown away, but whatever is the color of the stone which is in the jar means the one that I pulled up was the opposite color. So of course in the jar remained 1 black stone, and that means, according to his fairness, but not his sneaky way of being, she pulled up the white stone. Even when the situation looks like the obstacle seems unbearable, and it seems impossible to surmount, always think about you. That's not a problem. That's not an obstacle problem. You have a you problem. Your personal truth, what you think is true or not, decides how big is the problem. Now, so this is your personal truth. This is the worldview. Now, there are 4 scenarios, and we're going to move quickly to the second part of this video. We're going to go through the 3 parts of the video. So, when the worldview is much bigger than your problem, even if your personal truth isn't big enough, it's still the problem. You see this? That would be nice to use different colors. So look at my hand right now. This one here. How big is the problem doesn't matter, because it's inside this big relationship, inside this big delta, which I call it the delta obstacle, which is your personal truth minus the worldview. Or it works in both ways here, the worldview minus your personal truth. The problem, so if the worldview is, the vision is big, if you really care about the market and creating $1 million value in the market, you gotta think very big. Means that your problems will become very small, because you start to understand that the worldview is made of people, other businesses, relationships, networks. You can find hundreds of solutions which will connect to your personal truth, and your problem will be covered, will be smashed to the ground, will be dwarfed completely, because your worldview is much bigger than your ability to solve this problem. And I know the problem looks big, but you gotta ask yourself, is my personal truth too small, and so the problem covers my whole thinking? Or you probably have a huge personal truth about yourself. I know I can, I know I deserve, I know I've got the talents. Probably you're in building or growing your business, so you have already tested, you already know it works, you already know you can do it. But you still have thinking small about the worldview. Your understanding about business and the world is still small, and the problem you've got covers your whole thinking, and your resources are eaten up. So there are 4 scenarios. I'm not going to draw them on the whiteboard, but you'll get it quickly. When this is small, okay, let's make it this way. When your personal truth is small, and the worldview is big, you are okay. Second scenario, if your personal truth is big and the worldview is big, the problems are not problems. You involve other people, you think creatively, you can get out of the box and start to think creatively. So probably don't even see these problems as problems, you just see these as obstacles, and that's amazing. That's where you want to get. You want to get to this one, a big personal truth and a big personal view. Scenario number 3, you have a big personal truth, but a very small worldview. If you have a big personal truth, I can do this, I can do that, I know I deserve, I've got a talent, I've tried, I've done me. But when you think about the market and the people and the customers and the business, you are afraid of the world. You've got a problem. So here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here you are. Okay. Fourth scenario. You have a small personal truth and a small worldview. Probably you're deep in it because you have a very small personal understanding of what you can do, and you have a very small size of understanding about the world. Your worldview is small and your personal truth is small. You're full of problems. So you are only out of your problems. You can only go through the problems without seeing them as obstacles. You see them only as situations, only as a quick note here. Always remember when you have a huge obstacle in your business or in your life and you think like, I'm done. This is going to kill me. I'm not going to get out of these situations anyway. Think about the checkmate in a chess game. Don't think about the checkmate as the end of the game. The checkmate is not the end of the game. The checkmate is the end of a game. Probably the first game or the 100th game. It's a game. It's not the game. You have an obstacle problem in your life. You don't have a life problem. This is not you. You have your business in your life. Your business is not your life. And if you don't have this separation, this distinction between what you do in your life and your life, every obstacle feels like a life threat. And every single time you have an obstacle, you say, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I can't do it. Oh my God, you have no idea. Oh my God. You're panicking, you're stressed, you're worrying, you're doubting, and you make what? You make even more mistakes. Why? Because you become reactive. You start to make dumb decisions. You start to invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, maybe tens of millions in things which you just have no idea, but let me just do it because you start to become reactive, because it feels like a life threat. Always have the separation between life and everything else you do in life. Your body, your body's health, your family, your relationships. This is the life, and everything else is everything else. This way you have this separation, and this way your personal truth keeps expanding, keeps growing. That allows you to perceive the size of the worldview, and the problems are not big problems anymore. So remember that the problem you've got, the perception, the surface. So here's the triangle, right? The surface, all you can see is the surface of it for now, are the sunglasses of your personal truth. The problem you see are created by the amount and the quality of your personal truth. So when you are not in a checkmate yet situation, so here's the board. When you're not yet in a checkmate, where it might feel like a checkmate, which could be the case. So there are the figures. You see this, and that, and you see being attacked by your opponent. All right. And what a great player does. He sees the whole board. What we do when we feel attacked by a problem, remind yourself, I don't have a client's problem. I don't have a leads problem. I don't have an offer problem. I have a me problem. That doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Absolutely not. That means congratulations, you have just became aware of the possibility to grow your personal truth and expand. When you are on a dead end and the sign says no road ahead, that's not the end of the game. That means wake up! Hello! Everything you used until now was generated by your personal truth, and it ain't good enough. Grow, change, wake up! You deserve more. But we focus on the attack. I got a problem. All right. So I think here is enough. Remember these four: personal truth, and the worldview. Calculate the delta between the worldview and your personal truth. And understand that if the perception of the problem covers your whole thinking, probably the worldview is too small. You don't have the possibilities, idea of the possibilities which are out there. What do you think about you? Too small and you think you are, boy. So probably somewhere deep in your heart, you're still thinking that you think like that boy who wants to prove something to someone, wants to please someone, wants to make things to look good and nice, and you haven't taken out the sword and you haven't went into the fight. Not fighting everything around you, but making the discernment. Where am I reacting and thinking from my boy mentality, from being afraid of the world and comparing myself to others, and moving to the next stage. I'm going to decide my personal truth and expand it. I'm going to educate myself so that I can make more connections and be interested for other people which are out there, which I don't have access right now. So in the description below here in the show notes, I have a program for you. Allow yourself to rise. It's a self-paced program, 12 modules, comes with a manual that will work all three aspects: the personal truth, self-discovery, self-mastery, self-growth, and self-leadership. About the strategic thinking, about the laws of the growth, analytical thinking, constructive thinking, critical thinking, and about the worldview. There is much more out of the boundaries of your thinking than you might think, so that you can start playing with bigger problems, so that you can start enjoying going through checkmates again and again and again and playing a bigger game. Because if you want to become a millionaire, and you already know you have to build $1 million value in the market, don't get angry on the stuff outside of you, because you have created them. You have a you problem, which doesn't mean translated that something is wrong with you, means it's time to wake up. It's time to start thinking like the person you want to become, and start abandoning your way of thinking. Similar or as the boy who thought about, planned it for years out of completely different drives and not building value for others. All right. So this is the phase number one. So this is more about you. Now let's move into the work aspect. The second phase is every action is business. Every action is business. Because very often, when you find yourself in a death-end situation, you think that, I will take action about the problem or about understanding where I want to get and how I can get there in a different way. But while you are thinking, you are spreading your resources and your energy all over the place. And what it happens, it's kind of like, it looks very similar like this. You want to go to the gym and get in shape and build your muscles, but you keep eating gelato and you say, I'm eating gelato, but I'm planning about how to cook my chicken while I'm keep eating the gelato. And that way of thinking moves our perception of the reality into that thinking, and we excuse our actions through our wishful thinking. I'm thinking about how to become a millionaire, but I'm gonna build another landing page which doesn't bring you closer to your goal. I want to serve 1,000 people, but I'm just gonna keep doing what I do so that I'll get to that. But I'm into that game. We all do that. Why is that? That happens? It's because we haven't decided for ourselves. Clearly, we haven't defined for ourselves, at which stage am I right now? There's the one stage, there's the second, there's the third. This is starting your business. It's about to start to go to the gym. It's about how big this offer, I have this idea, I have this stuff. So you're about to start your business. Probably you're there where you're building your business. You already got the idea, you already got the offer. Now you're thinking how to communicate into the market, how to build your connections. How can I grab find my first clients? How can I start to serve others? How can I, oh my God, I have to think about marketing and myself and personal development. Oh my God. So you're really into that process, which is shaping you like perfectly and is coaching you and is preparing you constantly every day. You can go through it. Like 80% won't start, and then 80% of those who are left are going to die in the building phase of their business. And this is the growth phase of your business. Now, if I ask you in one word to define what's the number one thing required for each of these three stages, think about it. One word. You can only choose one word. What would that word be? That word would be. To start your business, you only need, you need to know marketing, you know to know sales, right? Good. What I offer is correct, right? That's what you think when you're about to start a business. If you are in the starting your business now, I know if you're on the building, if you're on the growing, you might be smiling right now because you know that's not the case. When you are about to start your business, you don't need all the knowledge, you don't need all the wisdom, you don't have to read all the MBA books, you don't have to go to university to study, you don't have to have 100 perfect millionaires business already in the industry, you don't have to watch 159,000 podcasts. The only thing you need to start your business, the only thing, and don't overcomplicate it. If I offend your intelligence, I'm happy and I'm glad for it. So that you can stop for a little bit and say, wait a second, probably that might be true. You only need courage. That's the only thing you need to start your business. Courage. Courage to look out. Courage to look in. Courage to think. Courage to face your fears. Courage to start discarding some thoughts which are destroying you. You only need courage. When you're in the building phase of your business, you only need one thing and one only. You need knowledge. You need knowledge. You don't need to know 100 people in your network business. You don't have to know how everything works. You don't have to know the marketing, all the business and the offer and know it in depth. No. That comes later. To build your business, you only need knowledge. What is a business? Business is something that works, which solves a problem that people might have, and you can solve it, and they are willing to pay for it, so that this process solves their problem and brings profit in your system, which allows you to keep repeating this process. That's it. So you have to answer 5 or 4 questions technically. You don't have to believe you can do it. You don't have to. Amazing if you can, amazing if you want to, amazing if you need to. Because if that kills the process, you need to do it right now. And by the way, you can click the link in the description below while you're thinking, get in touch, and we can have one session. And I'm going to upgrade your mindset, and you will do it. I will do it to you, then you're going to do it for you. And you will upgrade it in one session. That one big problem which you do have right now in your business and your thinking can be done in an hour. And it's free. The first one. Think about it. You only need the knowledge. What business is a process, solves a problem. So what's the problem I can solve? How can I solve it? Unique sales proposition, unique value proposition, clear offer. What's the problem I solve? Whom can I solve it for? What they going to get out of it? And how much these cost them not having my solution? Not how much does it cost you to create it? How much does it cost for them not having the solution of your business, through your business which you offer, of your services? And what is the only one word you need to grow your business? If for the starting, it was only the courage, that's period, that big period, you need only that. To building, you need only knowledge to understand the basics of what business is, and that's it. You don't have to flirt with your emotions there. What do you need for growing your business? For growing your business, you only need one word, and that is wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to know how to mix different kinds of knowledge and to make the discernment between everything else and the gold elements which are going to help you to grow your business. This is critical thinking. This is creative thinking. So here we have imagination. Here we have creativity. Here we have meaning. It got to be meaningful to you, and the building phase of your business got to be meaningful to you. And it has to be aligned with your sense of mission. What is your mission in life? Because everybody has a big dream, but few can decide for themselves to set themselves on this mission. I'm going to fight every day for this cause because it's a cause close to my heart, close to my mind, close to my ability, and I'm going to put all my resources into that. That sense of mission and meaning has to be there. And the only courage is what you need there. Now, why do we talk about this in this second phase? Every action equals business. So what I suggest to you right now is to define for yourself, where are you right now? So that you might think that you have 1,000 problems in your life right now, where you have one huge problem which is going to kill the momentum and everything else. If you think you are in the building phase, but you are in the starting phase, everything seems that's going to kill you because you have put on your shoulders so many problems, so much pressure, and you'll never build your business because you are in the starting phase of your business. And there you need courage. And rather than dealing with your courage and your mindset, you try to solve problems which you don't have yet. And of course, your personal truth is small, yet the worldview is big. You have a huge vision, like, oh, I achieve this, this, and that. But you haven't built it, so you're understanding, and you want to solve all the problems which you might project further. But your personal truth is going to change along the way. So when it comes the right time for that problem, it ain't going to be a problem anymore because your personal truth is going to be much bigger, and that problem is going to be dwarfed through your power. So what I suggest to you is to clearly define for yourself, at which stage are you right now? In the starting, building, or growing? And you stop mixing them. Now, there you don't have to prolong too much the time, and you have to know when to move forward. Again, find someone which can go through and help you. That link is in the description below. You can do it right now. So that you can define for yourself, at what stage am I now? What's important? What should I be focused on? 3 months, 6 months? And when do I plan to jump forward? And how am I going to do that? Otherwise, it's all a mess. You haven't cleared here. You haven't built the courage muscle. Now, you might be in the building. You haven't cleared for yourself what's the offer, who do you solve, and how do you do it, and why do you do better than others, and how much does it cost. But you want to think about AI implementation and networking, and I don't have the mills, I don't have the stuff, I have to hire people, and so on and so forth. So if you have been already through the game multiple times, of course, you can do this in a week. You already know the game. You hire the people, you hire the team, you hire the AI assistants and stuff and things. Boom, system, because you've been through the game. Go through it. If you haven't, if this is your first game, remember the checkmate is not the end of the game. The checkmate is the end of a game. Just a game, which is in your life. It is not your life. The second aspect of this part here, the first one is to define the stage at which you are right now. The second suggestion, which I want to give for you, is to develop selective knowledge. So when you need the courage at the starting phase of your business, and it feels that you're going through, again, I want to maintain the line of today's topic, the perception of the obstacle, how big it is, how big is the problem, your personal truth and the worldview, this relationship, this delta, this is the main goal of today's video. You don't need to focus on the knowledge itself when you're about to start. When you're about to build, you have to connect this knowledge and make it a system. But when you are into the growing phase of your business, you'll be bombarded with knowledge. You'll have access to so many things, to so many people, so many ideas. And if you haven't built the courage muscles, if you haven't built the discernment muscle, you're going to again invest. I was talking a few days ago with someone. He has invested 5 million, 6 million into a business just because a week ago he heard about that they might be successful at Sunday. That's crazy. And that's 70% of the money he has got. That's a huge temptation. And he's trying to jump from building to the growing, but he doesn't do that strategically. Now, it might be luck, but he has a family also. So that might be a huge, very uncalculated risk. That ain't wise. It might, that's gambling. That's not wise. So if you're consciously knowing you're gambling, good luck. But if you think you're wise, but you're gambling, you're dwarfed under the circumstances, and you really have no impact into the process. That might put at risk everything you've got. Is this all right with you? I don't think so. So when you're on the growing, practice the selective knowledge for both building and knowledge. For building, you don't even have access to much knowledge. That's one. And two, your personal truth ain't big enough to pay attention to different kinds of knowledge. So in the growing, you have to know this is good, this is good, this is good. This is not, 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 this is not. So that you don't allow yourself being dragged here and there through so many offers and so forth. So at the growing phase, again, define, it depends where you are. You have to know also how to forget the old knowledge. Because some old knowledge was good to build your business, but it ain't good enough to grow your business. And the ability to give up the knowledge which did help you to build your business feels so close to you. You have an emotional relationship with that knowledge. And if you don't train the muscle of forgetting that knowledge and remembering only the principles and the lessons you've got from that experience, you're going to have a cluster flip of all the information together, and you're going to feel confused. And back to the topic of our video, every problem is going to feel as the end of the game, and every problem is going to dwarf you in your personal truth, and it will start to get smaller and smaller. You'll feel that you're getting smaller, which is not true, but depends on what kind of choices you're going to make. All right, so I want to leave you with the last few thoughts before we, at the third stage. The first part of this video was, remember, the delta between the worldview and your personal truth, the delta of the obstacle, or between the personal truth and the worldview. See that difference and understand that what covers your understanding, what seems as big as life, is only as big as your personal truth or as your worldview, so that you can start to understand how this projection works, so that you can know where to focus, or on to increasing your worldview, or into developing your personal truth. The second part is every action is business. So whatever you do is business. You want to grow, but you're acting as starting, you're in trouble. You're going to have thousands of problems which are not real, but they feel real. If you're in the starting, but you think you're in the building, again, every problem is going to kill your thinking, your creativity, and it's gonna make you feel small. That's not the way you want. And so on and so forth. So you got to define at what stage you are, and to start acting according to the phase in which you are right now. The third stage is very quick. This is going to take just 3 minutes. Is good things have upside and downside. All right? Bad things have upside and downside. Bad things are not always bad things and good things are not always good things. The perception, the feeling you have right now in your business is according to what is good and what is bad. And that's not the great solution. Because as soon as you consider something, label something as a bad thing, you start to think destructively. And you start to criticize your personal truth. You start to feel, not to think, you start to feel badly about everything you do. And that's not where you want to find yourself. As for example, the distance is not the opposite of the closeness. Depends. In a context, being close is good. In another context, being distance and distance is bad, or the opposite. One is not the opposite of the other. And if you have this way of thinking, this is bad and this is good, unknowingly, good things will be labeled bad because that's how you think. And bad things might be labeled as good because, again, you don't know its essence. So how to proceed when things are new, they feel complicated, and you feel that is going to kill your business or is going to shut down the whole process. And this problem is much bigger than you or than everything else. Sometimes the opposite works for the best. See the good in it. Look for the good in it. And if you can't find it, then do it. Create it. Make it. And find the good side in the bad things. If they are really bad, there is always the upside in it. Find a way of seeing, connecting the dots. What is time to do right now? What is time for me to stop doing? Am I killing my potential by considering myself too small because this is what I've built in my head about me? Maybe I've been told in this way. Just because I haven't made it doesn't mean I can't do it. And of course you think you can do it because you haven't allowed yourself to imagine it. And we think we can't because we didn't. But we didn't because we didn't even think about how would it be possible to be done if I wanted to, if I had to. Look for the good in everything and you'll find it. And if you can't find it, do it because you can. Keep growing. Don't get scared of anything. Move forward. Know where you are. Know what you want. Thank you for your attention. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.